Hey everyone, so Mike and I are in the Foothills Trail at Table Rock State Park. We just dropped my vehicle off at Oconee State Park about an hour and a half ago. We're looking to do the entire Foothills through hike over the next 8 days or so. Hopefully about midway we're going to pick up my brother Nick, and he's going to spend some time on the trail with us as well. So let's go ahead and get our stuff packed up and get on the trail. So here we go. You see the pack is full. I tell you, I was surprised by how much room 8 days worth of food takes up. I had to take some stuff out. My poor ohm, it's stretched to the limit. I'm gonna be motivated to eat this food every day. Lighten this pack some. You know, getting on the trail, I think it weighs right at 30 pounds. But I've got at least 13 pounds food and water. 14 pounds if you count the fuel consumable. So my base weight's right around 15-16 pounds. I had to pack a few extra layers of insulation. We're getting out of here, or getting out here in the middle of winter. This is gonna be the first week of January. Got a bit of a cold snap coming through. So our mornings should be in the upper teens, kind of low 20s every day. But the skies are supposed to be clear, supposed to be beautiful. Wow, look at that. It takes about 4.5 miles to get out of the state park area. You can't camp in the Table Rock State Park. So there's some campsites right outside the boundary, and a really nice one a little further up. We were told coming in that a couple larger groups have kind of beat us to it. There's supposedly 8 or 10 people up at the Cantrell homestead. So Mike and I have been talking. We're looking at anywhere in the next couple miles. We're gonna try to find us a campsite for the night. Tell you, the trails through the park, wow, that first couple miles they take really good care. Bridges over everything. I mean, it's literally a walk in the park. I was surprised though. You know, you get three miles into it and the trail becomes a little more rugged. You get a bit more uphill. But man, it's been real pretty out here, real beautiful views. We got up on that bald knob, I think it was. Wow. Reminds me of the gorge. We're like a little over 5 miles in. We're outside of the state park. The trail is certainly a lot more rugged. It's still easy to follow. It's still well cut, but it doesn't have the same gleaming appearance that the state park trail had. Kind of coming through a boulder field. It's really cool through here. There's tons of giant boulders everywhere. Very neat.
It is a little slick out here. All this moss.
So we're kind of racing the sun at this point. We want to get to a kind of a level area to set up our camp. We think the next best possible choice is at Cantrell or whatever homestead campsite that's 8 miles in. We're getting pretty close to that, maybe another mile to go. Even if there are a lot of people there, I'm sure we can find a couple trees to throw hammocks up on. I tell you, a big shout out to all the people that work on these trails. Man, they do a really bang up job back here. Probably can't see me. We hiked right into dark. We rolled into that Cantrell homestead campsite. Getting late, starting to get cold. Great group of guys up here. Talked with them for a minute. Made sure it was alright with them if we shared the site. Looking forward to spending the night hanging out with them. Just got my hammock set up and things are looking pretty good. I guess I'll catch you in the morning. It's gonna be nice and chilly. Good morning. So we got down to about 24 degrees last night. I think it's supposed to be 26 degrees right now. Not too bad. This isn't too bad. Slept nice. You know, I started the night off, my underside was cold. My butt cheeks were cold. So like an hour into the night, I got up and adjusted my underquilt, kind of shifted the down around a little bit, tightened up the suspension. Worked like a charm. Felt really good, slept real warm last night. Here's the setup as usual. So I initially made this underquilt as a 30 degree. I added 3.5 ounces more to it the other day. So it should get me down to 20 degrees or a little less without any problems. It did well last night. Still using the buckle straps. I did use, where are they at? My Baffin booties, synthetic booties. Not too bad. Yeah, we had a great night last night. There's Mike over there. We met a couple guys in camp. Had a good fire going for a long time. Right up there. Really cool hanging out, talking with those guys. We got get everything tore down, get some breakfast in us, and get on the trail. See how many miles we can get in today. Right now my GPS says 9.1 miles, I think, from the parking lot to here. This campsite is supposed to be like 8.4 miles along the Foothills trail. So pretty good mileage for a slow start yesterday. We got started, I think it was about 11 o'clock when we finally got the cars parked and registered and got on the trail. Anywho, let me get tore down. It's chilly. pretty cool campsite. They've got a huge fire ring and a ton of chairs built out of rocks. Let me show you this. Course for today, this morning. I'm gonna just get 1 liter. There's supposed to be a stream, I don't know, like another 4 miles up the trail. You definitely got flowing water back there. And then the cistern just collects everything. That's what it looks like. Oh yeah. Not too bad. Alright, we're on the trail. So, goal for today is at least 8 miles. We'll see how we feel. We still got to get to the top of Mount Sassafras, descend down into like a gully, and then there's a big push back up a hill. To get to potential campsites. Feeling pretty good, a little chilly. It's like 30 degrees. Oh, what time did we get started, Mike?
I didn't check.
Let me look at my thing. 9:37, so a little bit of a late start. We're thinking about trying to get out of camp by 9. I slowed Mike up, I bet. He's probably ready to go a half hour ago. Alright, so not too far into the trail this morning. We're like a quarter mile from where we camped. We ran into where the Palmetto Trail connects to the Foothills. Sweet. Well,
Watch it.
looks like we got a small detour. Do a little road hiking, I guess. There's a lot of cloud cover anyway, so it's not like we would get good views up on Sassafras. Whew. It's cold. Boy, it feels really chilly. You know, we've got some small snow flurries coming down. I don't think we'll get any heavy snow while we're out here this week. It's supposed to be pretty clear all week. Let's get on this road, see where it takes us. So we're about done with this little 3/4 mile road hike detour. They did a good job of putting these posts along the road with the white blazes to let us know. I think right up here is where we're gonna get back on the trail. That wasn't too bad. How you feeling, Mike?
Good. Put the hat back on.
Yeah, it is getting chilly, isn't it? All right, so we're 2 miles into our trek today. Making pretty good time. When did we start? At 9:30? And it's 10:30. 2 miles an hour. That ain't bad. Better than our average. I think the goal for today is to stop every 2 miles, take a break, get a little snack in us, drink some water, kind of force us to chill out. Maybe we won't feel as bad getting into camp at night, you know? Yesterday was pretty good. It was a lot of uphill that last mile or two that I wasn't expecting. It was, you know, you're tired. It was starting to get cold. The sun was going down. That was a tough little section. Other than that, yesterday was a really beautiful hike. It was great scenery. The trail's really well cut. You know, one of the things I like about what they've done here is you go uphill for a while, but then they level it off. They find a way to level it off for a good stint. Then you go up for a little bit. It's like, it only holds 3 ounces less than a regular wide mouth one, but it's got this great cat. I can trust this not to leak in my hammock at night. That'll be good. For hiking layers, I got my wool beanie, merino wool beanie, merino wool gloves. They're real thin. They're not going to protect you against a heavy cold, but they're good enough out here just on the move. I have a real thin fleece shirt, and then just a long sleeve sports shirt. And legs, I've got my Wrangler Performance line. You get them at Walmart for, I don't know, $21, $22. Really great pants. One pair of socks, darn tough. And then my Fascu Breeze 2.0. You know, that's more than enough layers to stay warm, kind of hiking at 30 degrees. If it was colder, I might throw on my Frog Togs jacket. Stopping like this, when we do our little breaks, I'll probably throw my Frog Togs on to cut the wind. So far, so good. So planted in 1972. That's nice. It's beautiful out here. All right, so we're back on the trail. I tell you, this cold weather is going to keep our breaks to a pretty short. You start cooling off, chilling, getting chilly really quick. It's enough time to eat a small snack, socialize a little bit, complain to each other about how cold we are. It's pretty par for the course. I love these trees.
$178,
178.
I think.
I'm gonna cross the road, keep on going. Oh, so does this start where this is where the Duke Energy stuff, part of the trail starts. Yeah. These guys have done a ton of work on this trail.
Let me just check this book here.
This thing has been phenomenal. All of the water and campsites have been spot on mileage wise. Definitely worth picking up. This guy did a good job with that trail guide. You know, it's all been downhill coming from Sassafras. However, before we can get to our campsite, we know it's going to be a pretty good uphill climb. We're at 3.8 miles right now for the day. It is 12 o'clock, so we're kind of sticking to that 2-mile-an-hour pace, so not too bad. Almost time for our 2-mile break. As we come through the trees, you got mountains off in the distance. Alright, so we just stopped, had a little lunch. Took maybe 15-20 minutes. And a little pepperoni wrap, some Bluebell cheddar cheese spread in there, and a pack of crackers. We are, I don't know, 5.6 miles into our hike today, and down this hill we're supposed to come to Highway 178, and underneath the bridge is a water source, so we're looking to fill up water there. At this point I've got very little water left. Today's been pretty much downhill. I mean, a few little spurts up, but for the most part it's been all downhill. I think when we get across this road it's supposed to go up don't know, 500 or 600 feet pretty quick. Level out and then give us some campsite choices. Again, we're kind of shooting for that 8 to 10 mile mark each day. Having to filter in my Nalgene bottle. The water in my Smart Water bottle keeps freezing. I'm hoping the Nalgene will hold up a little better. Oh, if I ever showed you, I took the flip top off of a Smart Water bottle, like a small one, and it fits perfectly on the end of the Sawyer squeeze. It just kind of helps protect that top a little bit better than the one it came with. Now when it's cold like this, you don't want your filter to freeze. If it freezes, the filaments in there will stop working the way they should. You have to throw it out, buy a new one. So what I do is I keep it in a little plastic bag. And the whole time we're out here, it stays on my person. Just like that. It's always next to me. When I get in the hammock at night, that's going to go in the hammock with me as well, because I'm not going to sleep in these pants. Yeah, you have to be really careful about that water filter freezing. You don't want to be out here for 8 days and not have good clean water to drink every day. This would be a good drop-in point if you're section hiking this Foothills trail. Lots of cool info. Oh, right here, Table Rock. We started like right here. You do this little section to Table Rock, which they don't count in the 76 miles, by the way. That's like a mile. Get on the Foothills Trail. Yeah, there it is. You come up here. Yep. This is the Laurel Valley entrance. Okay.
This must be the Laurel Valley access thing here, right?
So yeah, this is the Laurel Valley entrance, is what they call it on this map.
So here it says, from the Laurel Valley access parking area, walk down the road 100 feet and trail re-enters the woods to the right. There should be a bunch of ascending that's going up steep wooden steps.
Yay. I mean,
So,
let's get it.
He said 100 feet. It's got to be this way.
No, I think it's going to be that way up there.
It's got to be that way.
Yep. We're gonna take so here we get into our elevation for the day. All that wonderful downhill. So we just ran into a really energetic couple. They're on their kind of the last leg of the through hike. They started on December 27th in Oconee. And they now have to go. The next really good campsite is where we stayed at that Cantrell homestead. So they got about 6 miles of straight uphill. I don't envy them at all. That's gonna be tough. Anyway, let's get back on the trail, see what we see. Well, look at there.
Yep, there's the blaze.
It really is 100 feet. So there's our parking lot. We started coming up this road. There's our blaze, and we have 61.7 more miles to go. What, like an afternoon? You think we get there?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Yeah. All right, so we're 9.3 miles for hiking today. We got to the first good campsite. There's a little bit of water, a small stream next to us. It's a really, it looks like a kind of see all these trees. It's a hammock-friendly campsite. I think this is called Laurel Valley campsite. Of course, we're not in the Laurel Valley yet. That's still another 3 or 4 miles, but we start descending into the Laurel Valley. You know, if you're following that little book that Mike has, it's got the end of day 2 for a 7-day trek, taking you another mile or two, another couple miles. He says 4 more miles. Man, that'd be a long day. It's a little after 4. It's going to start getting dark about 5. You know, we had to set up a little bit in the dark last night. It got cold. This is home for the night. I think this is perfect. We made the kind of mileage we were looking for, that 8 to 10. So we might make ourselves a small fire. Look, somebody's already left us a bunch of firewood. Check that out. Break some of that up. Not too shabby. Alright, so we got camp set up. I've got my tarp pitched a little lower than I normally would. I normally put it a little higher, but we're expecting a real cold night tonight, maybe down to 15 degrees. We'll see if that's true. I think tomorrow night's supposed to be super cold. That might be the 15-degree night. But I want to protect myself as much as I can from the wind. See, I got the bottom of my tarp down nice and low. And then on one side, closed up the doors as much as I could. And then I leave kind of an opening until I'm ready to go to bed on this side as a doorway. Well, we got us a proper campfire going. I'm gonna cook up some dinner, maybe a little chicken and rice, mountain house. What you having tonight, Mike?
Beef stew.
Beef stew. Not bad. All the camp chores are done. And we're gonna eat some dinner. Try to stay warm and call it a night. Good morning. So, what are we, morning 3. Thermometer's got us at 18 degrees. It's a bit chilly. We have a small fire going to kind of warm our hands up next to as we tear our stuff down. The goal is to get on the trail before 9 o'clock. The sooner the better. Start getting warmed up. Mike's getting a head start on me. I need to get over there and start tearing down. Whew. It's a chilly morning. So we're all packed up, the fire's out. We dumped 2 liters of water on it. We each packed about another liter of water to hike with. Oh man, it's cold. You know, it's one thing to come out here for a day or two and it's chilly. It's another to have to be out here for an entire week. This is going to be an interesting experience. It's going to teach me a lot about my gear, a lot about myself. How you feeling, Mike?
Cold.
Cold. Huh. All right. Well, let me get the pack on. Let's get on the trail. Like a mile and a half from where we camped. And I think this is kind of getting towards the end of the day 2 on the 7-day track in that guidebook. You just constantly back and forth these bridges, crossing this water. Whew. Hello, sun. Feeling pretty good. You know, the chill's out of the bones. Takes a good mile on the trail. Kind of get your fingers to thaw out, your toes to thaw out. Beautiful.
Short water stop and stuff, huh?
Yeah. Now see, if we'd have pressed on last night, we'd have walked through here in the dark and would have missed this really cool waterfall. That bridge has seen better days.
Yeah.
Well, it makes a lot of noise. So, we're after a lunch break spot. We're probably 4 miles into our day. It's about 11 o'clock. We're gonna eat some lunch. Temperature's dropping a little bit. So far the trail's been really good today, mostly downhill. We might have a bit of an uphill climb right towards the end of the day, kind of like yesterday. Can't complain, pretty good. Yeah, we'll do lunch here.
We can get water, we got a place to sit.
Yeah. Look at all the trash up by that fire pit. That's just ridiculous. Other than that, it would be a decent campsite. Lots of trees.
Yeah.
The problem is it has this access road. It's too easy for people to get back here and leave crap. So this afternoon's delicacy is a pepperoni wrap with some bluebell cheese, some cheddar sour cream chips, and then a partially frozen bottle of water. All right, lunch is done. Time to hit the trail. Laurel Falls. $53.6 more miles. We've come. So we're heading up from Virginia Falls, or not Virginia, Laurel Falls. They call for a little elevation, and that's what we're getting. Good stuff. Whew. So we think we're finally at the top of this incline. That was a good little workout. We need to go at least a couple more miles before we try to set up camp. Try to get into camp a little early tonight, collect firewood. Tonight's going to be the coldest night of the week. I'm going to make sure we're ready for that. I've been telling Mike I've been wanting to get into Gorgeous State Park for a while. Ugh. I tell you, there's some downhill I've never seen before. I don't think I've ever sweated coming downhill. That's some tough stuff. Making good time. Whew. Our first glimpses of Lake Jocassee. So we just took a look at our map. We think we got maybe another mile to the Toxaway Bridge. And there's supposed to be a pretty good campsite there. Might have to save Heartbreak Ridge for tomorrow morning. But that Rock Creek had a pretty decent campsite too. You know, Phil never does this stuff justice. Whew. How you feeling, Mike?
Great.
Liar.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we got Heartbreak Ridge knocked out. We're heading up to like it's marked as Toxaway Camp on my map. We just passed like a Lakeview camp or something like that. Still in the Gorgeous State Park. The last campsite actually had a picnic table and a fire ring. Whew. Oh, here's another one. Again, I feel like this would be kind of cold, Mike.
Yeah.
Let's look at the map. Alright, so we made it to Toxaway Camp. This is real nice. It's kind of where a stream meets the lake. And there are just tons and tons of camping choices. Lots of places to hang from. Picnic tables scattered throughout with fire rings. So this is a really great campsite. This is kind of, we're 10 miles, a little over 10 miles into our day. And there's not any possible camping for several more miles. So this has got to be it. It's like 3:30. We're going to get set up. Go find some firewood. Tonight's going to be cold. Well, I'm all set up. I think we're going to, next order of business is going to get some firewood. This should be a pretty good spot. We got a nice little stream next to us. There's a setup. Got a little wind. So firewood was kind of slim pickings. We really only have enough for tonight. If we're lucky, we can get one of these bigger logs to catch. Time to break out the fancy feast stove, do a little coffee. Good morning. Ooh. So we got down to about 13 degrees last night. It definitely got chilly. It's only about 15 degrees right now. We got a small fire going. We're going to use that to kind of break some stuff down, get warm, break some stuff down, get warm, eat breakfast, try to get out of here in the next couple hours. Let's go fire this morning. Sure. Sorry I overslept. See how we're doing. 8:35. What we got here about the same time? Yeah, I guess we gotta put the fire out. Eat. We're on track. Moved a little faster this morning trying to get out of the cold. That's a suspension bridge. Woo! Well, it's a cold morning starting out. We're still sub 20. The little creek we were next to started to freeze over last night. I can see a lot of ice down in the water here. Man. Bridge just got a little action. Oh wow, look at that. That's just beautiful. So we're about a mile into our day. Starting to shed a few layers. Whew, what a beautiful area. You know, this section of the trail through the gorgeous state park, it's awesome hiking next to the lake. It's real beautiful. How we doing, Mike?
Ready when you are.
Let's rock and roll. Well, I tell you, this trail just keeps giving. It's cold. Yep. You get some of those. No, that's a fairly big one. So they make a really small one. They sell it.
These are World Market.
Yeah, World Market.
1.75 ounces.
Okay. Well, that might be the one I'm thinking of then. Yeah, those are pretty good. I've eaten those a few times.
A little leery on them.
That was a nice little lunch break. We took about 20 minutes. Had a little pepperoni wrap, some chips. We filled up another liter of water. And we're off. Well, goodbye, gorgeous state park. That was a nice section of trail. I like that. I might have to bring the family out here one day. Oh yeah. Hey, only 42.4 more miles. That's it. I forgot to mention to you guys, first thing this morning, we found out something about charging the Garmin InReach Explorer last night. It won't charge below freezing, or maybe 36 degrees. I plugged in my battery bank and it saw that it was plugged in, but gave me an exclamation point. I wonder what's going on here. Then Mike remembered reading something somewhere. So we warmed the unit and the battery up, charged like a champ. Something to keep in mind. So we're at, what river is this, Mike?
Horse pasture?
Horse Pasture River with a 115-foot suspension bridge. So this puts us at our halfway mark for this hike.
Yep.
The good news is, it's easier to get to my truck than it is to go back to your truck.
Good.
So, good stuff. We still have like 2-3 more miles. I think 3 more miles before we get to our campsite. But we should be okay. We got a couple more, like 2-3 more hours of daylight. We got to come down a few steps to get to this thing. Whew. Alright, so we made it to Bear Camp Creek. We got a good water source right next to us. It's a huge campsite. Looks pretty hammock friendly. Lots of trees. Just got to find some stuff kind of away from the fire pit and we'll be in good shape. Big day today, 11.7 miles. We did 11 yesterday. Whew, I'm feeling it. So the rule of thumb with firewood is you gather up as much as you think you need and then you go and gather up twice as much. I think we're looking pretty good right now. We just finished processing. So we got all of our different sizes. Really big stuff, kind of medium, a little larger than medium, and then all of our little stuff. And I would expect all of that wood to last tonight and a small fire in the morning. That's it. And it's not going to be a big bonfire or anything. So, camp chores are about done. The hammocks are hung, tarps are up. We got our bear bag line already put up, so it's easy for us to just go hang our food. All the firewood's collected. We're ready to start our fire as soon as the sun goes down. All that's left is to get some fresh water and start making some dinner. It's been a long day. I'm kind of hungry. All right, well, starting to get dark. We're going to kick off this fire, eat some dinner, and call it a night. See what the morning brings us. Tomorrow should be a little bit shorter day. We're supposed to meet my brother at the Bad Creek access. They're at the Duke Hydroelectric plant. We're only like 5 miles away from it, so it shouldn't take us that long to get there. Meet up with him. Whew. He's going to finish out the rest of this Foothills trail with us, the last 30 or so miles. So we'll be happy to have him on board. Anyway, good night. Well, good morning. It's day 5. Slept real good last night. It got down to, thermometer says 20 degrees. Slept real good and warm. Mike, how'd you sleep?
Wonderful.
Good stuff. We're just starting tearing down, and we're going to get some breakfast, get some water in us. Try to usually drink at least a liter of water before we get started. Let me get back to it. No, I haven't been doing a lot of filming around camp in the mornings and at night, but it's kind of a lot of the same routine. You know, we get into camp, we immediately start setting up. Once we have our hammocks, our quilts, and our tarp set up, we kind of transition to making sure the bear bag is, or the bear line is hung. And then we start collecting firewood. And then from there we can start looking at things like, all right, let's eat breakfast, a little foot care maintenance, you know, the little things that we need to do. Maybe a little maintenance project. I had my chair I needed to sew. One of the seams started to rip on it. And then in the morning it's kind of the reverse, right? Or not the reverse, it's a lot of the same thing. We get up, we start a fire so we got something to kind of go to, but it's get your systems torn down, get most of everything packed up, go grab the food, have breakfast, and then take care of any little thing that you need to take care of before you get on the trail. One thing we have been doing that I've liked with the cold is almost as soon as we get into camp, once we're done with the collecting firewood, we'll put on our sleep clothes underneath our outer shell. You know, you take off all the wet stuff that you've been sweating in, put on your dry sleep clothes, and then put on your jacket and your pants and your shoes back. And then when it's time to go hit the rack at night, it's just a matter of peeling off that outer shell and sliding into that top quilt. We've also been warming up a liter of water, you know, bringing it as close to a boil as you can, pouring it into that hard Nalgene, and then keeping that in a plastic bag down in the hammock, kind of between the legs to keep things warm. It's nice through the night, it stays warm all night, and it's also really good in the morning. It's easy to drink. You know, the water out here has been freezing. You get a brain freeze if you drink too fast, and that warm water first thing in the morning, you could suck it down. It's really good. But we're packed up here. We just finished our breakfast. I had a chocolate Pop-Tart. I'm going to tidy up a few things, put a new battery in this GoPro, and we'll be ready to hit the trail. All right, back on the trail. Day 5. Today's gonna be a short day, 6 miles. Meet up with Nick. Whew. We got a couple spots of good elevation, so it's not gonna be the easiest day. Should be nice though. You know, it feels a little warmer today. Even though it's only a couple degrees, I feel a lot warmer. I really love all these tall trees. You don't get to see this in the city very often. Beautiful woods back here. How's that for a stairwell? Whew, that'll get your blood going. Whew. A little 500-foot climb out of Bear Camp Creek. That'll get your blood going. Woo! See, that homemade underquilt that I have, it's held up pretty good out here. The only night that I got chilly was when it got down real cold, you know, 12, 13 degrees. But I never got to the point that I was shivering, you know, you just get a couple cold spots. Last night, nice and toasty. I suspect the rest of this trip will go about like that. So we made it to our campsite for tonight. What does it say? 1.5 miles. Jeez. So we made it to our campsite for the night. Mike stayed behind. I'm gonna head on to the Bad Creek parking area to meet Nick and help tote anything in that needs to be toted in. I think he said he had some burgers for us tonight. Might be a little further away than I thought. That sign said 1.5 miles. I thought it'd be like a mile trek total. Mile and a half maybe. 3 miles might take me a few extra minutes. It's still pretty early. We should be able to get back to camp before dark. Yeah, it's unreal how much ice there is in these rivers. Look who I found. Nick's back on the trail with us. Let's do it.